Morning. Thanks for joining us for Morning Flow today from the park. Some live students here. Thanks for joining us on Zoom or joining us on YouTube later. We'll start out seated or kneeling if you like, whatever is comfortable for you. You don't have to sit the way I'm sitting. You don't have to wear a headset maybe. Feel into the grounding of your seat, thinking about the length of your spine, sitting up tall without being rigid or stiff. Rest your hands wherever it's comfortable to you. Might be in your lap or on the ground. Palms down on the legs for grounding or palms up for receptivity. I'm going to go with grounding, and that's going to be a theme today, grounding. Close your eyes if you want. And just notice your breathing to start out, letting your breath slow down and get deeper. Taking in your environment. That strange sound you're hearing is cicadas in the park. It sounds very strange. I understand when it comes through on the video. Do not adjust your television set. The problem is not your signal. Whatever goes on around us is just something else to weave into the practice. We don't need to get annoyed or distracted with something comes by, visually, audibly, whatever. Observe the movements of your breathing and notice how those movements feel. Maybe your breath already feels different after just becoming still and focusing on it for a minute or so far. And scan your whole body. Notice whatever there is to notice. Take in any sensations that are present for you. And note especially if anything is feeling out of sorts as you start today. Make note of anything bothersome, any soreness, any stiffness. So you can keep such things in mind during practice, knowing that you're welcome to skip or modify any portion of what I'll offer. Everything but the breathing is optional. And anytime during our practice, when your mind wanders, I say when, not if, because it will happen. It's just what your mind does. My mind does too. Just gently come back to focusing on your breathing, back to noticing what's going on in your body, our shared intention. And perhaps you want to set an additional intention, more specific to you. I like to keep mine to one word so I can remember it. Might be something you're looking to cultivate or something you're looking to release and let go of. Maybe something that doesn't fall neatly into either of those categories. Whatever your intention might be, let it take form and take root. And with these intentions in place, I'll come back to grounding, which I mentioned before. That's my intention and a theme for our practice today. So before we begin moving around more, we'll just practice a mudra and a mantra. A mudra is just a shape that you make with your hands. This one is called the Bu mudra, not Bu like a ghost, B-O-O, but B-H-U. And it's like peace fingers like this, but your fingers are then on the ground. And the mantra that goes with the grounding mudra, the grounding mantra is, my energetic roots run deep into the living earth. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. And you can change up the wording if you want. Maybe you want something simpler or shorter. It can be as simple as a word. You might just think ground, ground, grounding. Whatever you decide on, say it a few times, whether it's in your mind or out loud. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. My energetic roots run deep into the living earth. Slowly roll your ear towards your shoulder and let your head tip back. Other ear towards the other shoulder, back through center, as slowly as you can. Take a few circles in each direction. If you find any tight spots, maybe pause at the tight spot and you rock back and forth over the tight spot to untie a knot or loosen a knot anyway. Be mindful of moving the head and not the shoulders. Sometimes when you think I'm going to move my shoulder towards my ear, you move your, sometimes when you think of moving your ear towards your shoulder, you actually move your shoulder towards your ear. And when you finish your next circle, lift your gaze, look forward again. Bring your hands to rest at your sides. Inhale, raise your right arm up alongside your ear. As you exhale, let your arm drape over your head, fingertips coming to rest by your left ear. Let the weight of your arm draw your head over to the right. If you want, you can pick up your left hand and reach out through your fingertips, lengthening that side of the neck even more. Try to feel into where's the sweet spot, where that's as long as it gets. And if you go any higher with that hand, the muscle starts to shorten again. Let your neck stay passive. Let your hand slide across your head, come down to your cheek, and nudge back up to center. Inhaling, raise your left arm up alongside you. Pick up your right hand and lift up to the side. It's not connecting. It powered off and power back on again. I know it should, and it didn't. Let your right hand down if it's raised. Remember, your neck stays passive. Let your hand slide across your head and come down to your cheek. Let your arm do the work for your neck. Let your hand down. Make your way up onto your hands and knees. However you want to get there. Open your hands way up. Bring your shoulders above your wrists. Bring your hips above your knees. Inhale, draw your heart forward. Let your head and tailbone go up. Exhale, draw your heart up. Let your head and tailbone come down. Continue for a few more rounds of breath at your pace. And after your next exhale, come back to table. And we'll take some twists here and explore, have the option to explore some arm and leg extensions from the twist. The twist is going to start at the waist, work its way up your spine and into your arm. So inhaling, we'll go to the left first. Inhale, twist through your lower back, middle back, upper back, reach your left arm out and up overhead. Exhale, come down, reach across. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, open. Exhale, come down and across. And I'm gonna actually reorient myself here and let your shoulder down on the ground, let your ear come down on the ground. Maybe that's plenty, or maybe you go further. You might reach your right foot back and press into the ball of your foot. See how that feels. You might pick the foot up and reach back in the air. That can make you roll over onto your back sometimes. Be mindful. Or you might bring the foot over towards where that left hand is. Maybe you like how that feels. Or maybe you just leave your knee on the ground. Lots of options. You also can play with moving your right arm. You might reach it up towards the sky, and like an owl turning your head back and forth, rotate your arm in the shoulder socket. Or you might fold your arm across your low back, peel your shoulder back. And of course, you could do that leg extension without the arm extensions. You can do an arm extension without a leg extension. You can do both. You could skip both. All sorts of options. If you did move your right hand, bring it back to the ground. Press into it to stabilize. If you did move that right leg, bring it back in and plant your knee. Pressing into your right hand. Big inhale, open up, reach up, look up. Exhale, come down. Back to table. Take 3 or 4 breaths in cow and cat. And when you're ready from table, inhaling, go into the right, twist your way up the back, reach your arm out and up. Exhaling, come down and reach across. And do it 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Nice and gently, let your shoulder down, let your head come down. If your head doesn't quite reach the ground, shift your hips forward to help it find its way there. And then you decide whether you extend your left leg and or your left arm. If you have moved your left arm, bring that left hand back to the ground. If you've moved that left leg, bring it back. Inhale, open up and reach up and look up. Exhale, bring your hand down, plant it, take 3 or 4 breaths with cow and cat. Yeah, the earbud drops out of my ear. And coming back to table, step your right foot up between your hands. It's all right if it takes more than 1 step, or you need to swing out to the side, or even grab your leg with your arms to help you out. Press into the ball of the back foot, come up to runner's lunge. Come up on your fingertips. Inhale, reach forward, reach up, crescent lunge. If this is too much, you might drop the back knee down, uncurl your back toes, do that lunge instead. Exhale, sink forward in your hips, lower your arms. Inhale, glide back and up. The movement with the legs can be as big or small as you want. Now let's twist. Reach your right hand forward and your left hand back. Twist to the left. Come back through center and twist to the right. Maybe the twist is where you decide to drop your knee. Easy to lose your balance. Every time you don't quite fall, you're using your core there. Come back through center. Exhale, bring your hands down. Step your left foot forward. Step your right foot back. Inhale, reach up again. Find your other lunge. Low or high, your choice. If you're in the high one, you want all 10 toes pointing in the same direction so the back knee stays lined up in a stable and safe manner. Exhale, sink forward. Inhale, glide up. Let's do 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. Then twist to your right. Come back through center and twist to your left. Come back through center. Exhale, bring your hands down. Step your right foot forward and hang out in a forward fold. Sway back and forth. Bending and straightening your legs. Letting your arms and your head hang. Nice and heavy. Gently nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Inhale, lift up halfway, press your hands to the front of your legs and push. Feel for the crown of your head reaching forward away from your tailbone. Exhale, relax down. Inhale, roll up to standing, hands overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Let your hands hang at your sides. Lift your left shoulder towards your ear. Shift it back and let it down. And then your right shoulder up, back, down. Inhale, reach out to the sides. Exhale, reach across, either grab your shoulder blades or reach for your shoulder blades, or come to eagle arms. Inhale, spread your wings. As you exhale, cross your arms the opposite way. Grab your shoulder blades or take your eagle. Inhale, open. Exhale, let your arms down. Inhale, out and up. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms up. Look up at your hands. Lift up your heart. Inhale to come upright. Exhale to bend to the right, feeling for length through both arms. Stay grounded in that left heel. Inhale up through center. Exhale, bend to the left. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, let your arms come down. Now, in any pose, any movement, we want to be grounded. Now, you're going to be grounded, but it helps when you think about what's touching the ground. So when you're on your hands and knees, pay attention to how they're placed, how it feels. We do different positions with our feet. Pay attention to how that goes. So let's start with some warrior poses here. Explore the different ways we ground in warriors. Bring your left foot forward and your right foot back at about a 45-degree angle. If you're using a mat, you can be near the edges of the mat. Think of railroad tracks, and there's one foot on each track. So the grounding, ground into the ball of the front foot. Aim that knee where those toes are aimed. Just a little bend. Back leg is long. And you're grounding into the pinky toe edge, the outer edge of that foot. Nice grounded, stable warrior feet and legs. Inhale, reach your arms up as your warrior one arms, but let your shoulders down a little. Turn your pinkies in towards each other. There's the warrior one hand. And we'll explore some variation. Stay grounded in your feet. Be mindful of how your feet feel as we start to move from here. Bring your hands together and tip them forward. If you're indoors, maybe you're aiming at where the wall meets the ceiling, depending on how you're set up. So keeping the feet nicely planted like they are. Exhale, bow towards your knee and reach your hands back. Inhale, reach forward and up. 2 more times. Exhale and inhale. It's okay if you don't actually touch your chest to your knee. Towards is the idea. Explore another variation for the mid back. Bring your elbows down to your rib cage and lower your forearms parallel to the ground. See if you can keep your elbows right there. Inhale, slide your hands out. Exhale, bring them to the front again. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more. Now let's transition to warrior two. Bring your hands onto your hips. Pivot the right foot, open further. Slide it in line behind your left foot. I'm going to switch mats. Come this way. Square your shoulders above your hips. So if you're on the mat, shoulders and hips are parallel to the longer side of the mat. Feet are perpendicular. Still grounding the ball of that foot and the outer edge of that foot, like warrior one. Different distribution of weight for the back foot because it's a different angle. It's essentially the same kind of grounding. Extend your arms to the sides. Look out over your left fingertips. Inhale, rotate your palms back. Exhale, rotate forward. 3 more times. Inhale and exhale. Now, as we go further, we're going to try to keep the lower body just where it is here as we do the next variation. So this is all about from the waist up. Turn your left palm up. Inhale, tip back and reach up. See, my legs did move, keeping that bend in the front knee. Looking up at your left hand, it's up above your face. Your right hand might rest lightly on your leg or press to your hip for support or come across your low back in a half bind. Exhale, tip forward, legs stay still, reach forward. So the left arm comes to the left thigh, just resting lightly, not pressing into it, not dumping your weight there. And the right arm reaching in the direction of where the left toes are pointed. Maybe circle this arm, feels nice in my shoulder. And maybe play with extending the bottom arm. You can reach it in the direction that the top arm is reaching, or you can reach it out perpendicularly in the direction you're facing. If you extended the bottom arm, bring it back. We'll do a warrior dance. Stay grounded in the feet. Keep those legs as they are. Inhale, tip back and reach up. Exhale, tip forward and reach forward. Imagine your torso and your arms are between a couple big panes of glass. And you're just moving in that limited space, forward and back. It can be helpful to track the movement of the left hand here, looking at it as I'm down here. I follow it up here, and that helps me stay lined up. And let's inhale back to warrior two. And we'll do another dance to gentle warrior. Now we're going to move the legs. The feet will stay grounded the same way they are. You just feel the weight shift. Inhaling, straighten the left leg, raise your arms, turn your head 90 degrees to the right. Exhale, lower your arms, bend the knee, turn 90 degrees to the left. Inhale, gentle warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Be mindful of the knee, tracking with the toes to keep the knee stable and safe. The knees drifting out to one side or the other, you can run into problems with your knee. Now from here, straighten that front leg most of the way. Keep a little bend in the knee. Draw the right hip back towards the right foot. Slide the left hand forward and tip. Left hand down, right hand up, triangle pose. Your hand might find the ground or hang in the air or come to your leg or come to a yoga block. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Inhale, reach your left hand forward and stand. Left hand to left hip. Pivot onto the ball of your right foot and step forward. And sure, shake it out if you want. Have a drink if you want. Those of us in the sun definitely needing some drinks. And one of us needing sunglasses. You can't see her. The sun is here. Kristen is here. She's pointing a reflector at me so you can see me better. Warming things up a bit. Right foot forward, left foot back. Find those warrior one feet, ground into the pinky toe edge of your left foot. Follow your right foot. Check out the alignment of that knee. Then bring the arms up. Melt the shoulders down. Turn the pinkies in towards each other. Warrior one. Bring your hands together, tip them forward. Exhale, bow and reach back. Inhale, reach forward, come up. Exhale and inhale. Bring your elbows down to your rib cage. Lower your forearms parallel to the ground. Inhale, slide hands out. Exhale, slide hands to the front. Bring your hands to your hips. Pivot your left foot open further. Bring it in line behind your right foot. And maybe you deepen your stance there. That's what my body wants to do when I come to Warrior Two, is take out more of the length of my mat. The caution there is the further the feet get apart, when you get to that transition at the end where we step forward, you can give yourself a really big step if you go real low in your Warriors Two. Arms out, look over your right fingertips. Inhale, rotate back. Exhale, rotate forward. Then turn your right palm up. Lower body stays where it is. Inhale, reverse warrior, tip back and reach up. Look up at that right hand. Breathe deeply into your right side. Take whatever position you want with the left hand, the left arm. Exhale, tip forward, coming to side angle, reach forward, right arm to right leg, just lightly, left arm reaching forward. Maybe circle the top arm. I like it, maybe you don't. Maybe extend the bottom arm. I like to call this one beach ball pose. You're passing your friend the beach ball. I don't know what you call this one, but I like how this one feels more. If you extended your right arm, bring it back. And the first dance, inhale, reverse. Exhale to side angle. Let the breath of the movement be smooth and continuous. Maybe picture the chain of a bicycle, just going around and around. And inhale up to Warrior Two. And dance to Gentle Warrior a few times. Inhale, glide up. Exhale, glide down. And then from Warrior Two to Triangle, straighten the front leg most of the way, keeping a little bend in the knee. We'll keep the knee safe. Draw the left hip back, slide the right hand forward, and tip to find your triangle. Take some big, deep breaths. Bring your left hand onto your left hip. Inhale, reach your right hand forward and stand. Right hand to right hip. Pivot on the ball of your left foot and step forward. There's a big step. If you go real low in the warrior two, that's a humongous step. Drink some water whenever you need to. You don't have to wait for when Leo does it. Oh, he left his water in the car. He's reminding somebody else to drink. Well, mistakes are great teachers. All right. It's balance time because we're in the park. We need to do tree pose, and we'll do something else. I'll decide what it'll be while we're doing tree pose. Bring your hands to your heart. Shift your weight from one leg to the other with your feet planted. So maybe when you started, your feet were under your hips. Maybe they weren't. But if they weren't, they'll find their way there because of this rocking. It's also, I think of this as reminding each leg that it can take all the weight. Don't adjust your device. That's the camera being moved here on purpose. There's not an earthquake. Bring the weight into your right leg and let the knees stay soft. Set your gaze on something straight ahead, something that won't move, something at eye level. Raise the left knee. Think of opening a gate, bring it out to the side, and then bring your foot to your leg. So maybe it's toes on the ground, heel on the ankle. Maybe it's the sole of your foot on your calf. Maybe it's the sole of your foot on your thigh. The one thing you don't want to do is press sideways on your knee. Your knee is not built to move on that axis. It might move on that axis, but only once. And then you're going to be out of commission for a while. You can keep your hands here. This can be nicely steadying, pressing them together, pressing them to the sternum, or let the branches of your tree grow any which way you want. Make sure you're breathing. All the trees need air regardless of shape. Inhale, rise. Exhale, root. There's that grounding. Rising, rooting. If your hands are elsewhere, bring them back to your heart. Pivot your knee forward. Let your foot down. Shake out your leg. And anything else that needs a shake. There's some funky trees around here. By the way, if you're on a thicker mat, you might step off the mat. Being on grass or sand or something uneven makes it more challenging. Being on a thicker mat on a hard floor can make it more challenging because your foot's going to have to be more active. Maybe you want it to be more challenging. Bring your hands to your heart. Shift your weight from side to side. The most difficult place I've done it is on sand or snow. When your footing moves around on you, much more. When you're ready, bring the weight to your left leg and raise your right knee. Open it to the side. Bring your foot to your left leg. And do whatever arm expression is calling you. Now, I always talk about this, don't press sideways on your knee. A lot of times we'll end up doing that because we're obsessed with getting our foot to our thigh because we see someone else doing it. And I have a little story about that. It took me 2 years to get my foot to stay on my thigh at all. And I had given up on doing it. I hadn't tried in about 6 months. And I was teaching the same sequence here. And I said, you might put your foot on your thigh. Mine never wants to stay there. And then it stayed there. And the student said, I thought you said you couldn't do it. And I said, you saw it first. That's the first time it stayed there. If your hands are elsewhere, bring them back to your heart. Bring your knee forward. Let your foot down. Shake, shake, shake. Now let's play dancer pose. Play with dancer pose. This is one I don't think I've done in the park yet. So dancer pose, is when we have one foot raised, a hand holding that foot. This is the full expression. This is just the fast forward version. I'll give you finer instructions than that. I want to talk a bit about how you grab your foot and what you do with that arm, because there are different options here. So let's turn around to show this. So the first way I ever learned to do this was just reaching back like this and grabbing the outside edge of the foot. Now, when I do that, as I draw the knee back, it wants to go out to the side. But what I want is keeping it in line with my hip, like this. So a way to encourage that alignment is reach this arm out to the side, rotate the arm, and when you come back, you can grab the inside edge of your foot. That encourages that knee to draw towards the midline. You don't have to do this. I thought I could make a 90-degree turn there. A little daredevil move. So maybe your hand stays at your sternum, or maybe, that is hard. It's really hard. You know what, there's a little slope here. Maybe I'll do better on the other side. We do everything twice. So when you're ready, drop the weight to the other leg. Lift that foot. I'm going to try the same grip again. I do prefer how this one feels. Maybe you prefer the other one. So the knee comes back, the body tips forward, and your hand might stay at your sternum, or it might extend. And when you come out, slowly if you can, it's like rewinding. You can bring your hand back to your heart. I'm pressing into my sternum to stand up. Release the grip, release the leg, release, shake it out. Drink. Oh. Yeah, I'm in the sun now. That's not the reflector. This is the actual sun. This is the Kristen sun.
Brilliant.
I'll recycle a goofy line my ex used to say. He said, "I'm so bright, my mom calls me son." Let's come down and have a seat. On that note, boom. Dad, I got a bunch of dad jokes. Extend your legs forward. Flex your feet back towards you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. As you inhale, think of the crown of your head reaching forward. As you exhale, think of lowering. I'll give you a dad joke while you explore that. You know how geese always fly in a V formation? And you ever notice that one side of the V is always longer than the other? Do you know why that is? Because there are more geese on that side. Duh. He never heard that before. I had 2 out of 3 people laughed. That third one sounded maybe forced or fake or sarcastic. Inhale, walk your hands up the front of your leg and sit up. Maybe he heard it before. Bring the soles of your feet together. He heard it before. That's why he laughed differently. Big distance between the heels and the pelvis. If there's room to do it, bring your hands under your ankles. If there isn't, it's okay. Go over your ankles. Either way is fine. Walk your hands forward. Make a pretzel. Yogi pretzels. Let your head drop down. Disengage your neck. Yoga pretzels are gluten-free. They're vegan. No fat, no calories. I can't wait to watch some of these on YouTube and see what do the cicadas sound like on the recording. Slowly scoot your hands back and press yourself up to a seat again. Keeping your feet together, draw your heels in real close now. Interlace your fingers, grab the tops of your toes, wriggle on your seat, bring the bones in the seat closer to the ground, tilt your pelvis. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale, hinge at the hips to fold forward with a long spine. See how far down the long spine will go. Maybe your arms pressed, your legs down and your hips open. And when the long spine isn't lowering anymore, relax your neck and let your head hang and breathe into your hips. Feel the grounding in the outer edges of the feet and grounding in your seat. Inhale, slowly sit up. Let your arms help your legs. Lift your knees towards each other. Extend the legs again. And let your arms help your legs open out. I'm looking carefully at the ground as I do this. We had an incident yesterday. I put my hand down on a fire ant nest. That's why this isn't leprosy. This is calamine lotion. They got me. They got me a bunch of times. It was half the night itching. Walk your hands down your legs to wherever you can. Maybe it's your shins. Maybe it's your ankles. Maybe it's your feet. And then we'll explore from here. Take your time. Bring your right hand over by your left hand. And open your left arm like a wing and turn your head to follow that hand with your eyes. And turning your head, look at that, helps your shoulder open more. Bug on my face, right at the corner of my mouth. The joys of nature. Slowly bring your hand back by the other hand. Bring the right hand back over to the right. Take your time to bring the left hand over to the right. And slowly open your right arm out to the side. Turn your head to track the movement of the hand. Slowly bring the right hand back. Bring your left hand back over to the left. And walk your hands up the front of your legs. Sit yourself up. Let your arms help your legs come in together. Bring your hands behind you, lower down onto your back. And we're going to explore opening heart and throat with fish pose. Zip your feet and legs together. Lift your left hip, slide your hand under your butt, palm down, sit on the back of your hand, and then do the other hip, the other hand sitting on the back of your hands. Start to inch your elbows in towards each other. So you end up lifting your back off the ground and bringing your weight into your forearms, and it makes you talk funny. Feet and legs are still zipping together with the weight in your forearms, grounding in elbows and hands and heels, maybe calves. Inhale, lift your head and chest. Keep the chest lifted and relax your neck. Let your head sit back nice and slowly. And you want to let the crown of your head just barely find the ground. Just gently touch down. Don't really put any weight onto your neck. And then we just take some big breaths. And on the exhales, open your mouth, release whatever sound wants to come out. Slowly lift your head and come all the way forward till your chin touches your chest or gets as close as you can get it. And then let your shoulder blades down. and then let your head down. All that to protect the neck. And lift each hip, free up your hands. If your hands went to sleep, you could wake them up. You could do this. A friend in Boston calls it Starfish Dance Party. So I always want to move carefully and protect the neck. You only get one neck, and take it from a guy who has 5 pieces of titanium in his neck. That's a story for another day, but no, it had nothing to do with yoga. It was years before I ever practiced. Draw your knees up, bring the soles of your feet to the mat as close to your butt as you can get them. Cross left ankle over right knee. Bring your hands to your right thigh. Now, checking in about grounding. Sacrum on the ground, shoulder blades on the ground, back of the head on the ground. Draw your right knee towards you. Maybe it won't move much. But don't lose those grounding contacts. Breathe into your hips. To take it further, bring your left hand to the inside of your left knee, nudge your left knee away from you as you continue to draw your right knee towards you. Let your arms and hands relax. Let your right foot down. And cross your legs the other way. Bring your hands to your left leg. Draw your left knee in. Check in with grounding. Back of the head, shoulder blades, sacrum. Right hand to right knee. Nudge right knee out as you draw left knee in. Let your arms and hands relax. Let your left foot come down. Let your right foot come down. Now we're going to cross knee over knee, left knee over right knee. If you can't do that, you can just cross your left ankle over your right knee again. That's fine too. Reach your arms out to the sides. Shoulder blades stay grounded. You'll stay grounded in the right foot, but it will shift from the bottom of the foot to the side. Let your legs fall to the right and turn your head to the left. Let your breath bring you out. Slowly come back up to center. Switch the cross of your legs. Cross your right knee over your left knee. Or if that doesn't work for you, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Let your legs go over to the left and turn your head to the right. Shoulder blades stay grounded. Have grounding contact in left buttock or left hip, depending on how far you've gone. And of course, left heel, left ankle if you went further. Maybe right foot touches down. Increase the grounding. I suppose your knees might touch down. Mine won't, but maybe yours too. Slowly come back to center. Uncross your legs. Draw your knees towards your chest. Hug yourself. Roll around and rock around. Massage your back against the ground. Nice grounding of the sacrum. Nice massage.
Pardon the interruption, teachers. We are experiencing some internet issues, both hardwired and Wi-Fi. I'm going to be reaching out to technology right after this message. So if you can please send a message dojoing out to your parents, letting them know that we are experiencing some internet issues and you may be getting kicked off. I'm hearing that some are getting kicked off and allowed back on. Some are not. So if you can please send that out and I will keep you up to date.
That was the longest announcement yet to interrupt. In my time here, right next to the school, it's the first day of school, and we have internet issue. Reach your feet towards the sky, reach your hands up, grab your legs or your feet, however you want, and play with bending and straightening the arms and legs in happy baby pose. Or maybe there's another inversion you'd like to take. This comes under the umbrella of skipping or modifying. Substituting is in there too. You can do a different inversion if you want to. Maybe you move a lot, maybe you move a little. Maybe you stop moving one foot so that you can keep the sun out of your face. Or maybe that's just me. Maybe you don't have a tree right over your face with a nice fat bumblebee buzzing around and a hummingbird and a lot of bugs.
Attention teachers,
Here we
the
go.
internet was down. It should be coming back up. So if you are still having issues, you may need to restart your desktop or a laptop. Again, technology said the internet did go down briefly, but it should be coming back up if not already. If you do have issues, please restart your desktop or laptop. Thank you.
Praise be, the internet has been restored to the teachers. Invert for as long as you like. When you feel complete, you can make your way to your final resting pose. So maybe it's Shavasana, the pose, corpse pose. Legs extended, feet splayed open, hands by your sides, palms up or pinky edge on the ground. Maybe that's not comfortable for you. You can conclude practice in whatever position is comfortable for you. Maybe you bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees splay out. Or maybe you rest the soles of your feet on the mat, let your knees lean towards each other. Whatever's kata. Whatever position is comfortable for you. All you have to do now is breathe. Maybe it can be that simple. Maybe you focus on your breath, visualize your breath by visualizing your nostrils where the air is moving in and out. Or maybe you come back to an intention you set at the start of our practice today to reflect upon it. How did that work for you in practice? Did that work for you in practice? And how so, if it did? How might you extend that intention into the rest of your day? Carry your practice off the mat. Maybe you just let your mind wander off. Maybe you repeat a scan of your body like we did at the start of practice. Checking with yourself head to toe. Notice how all the different areas and parts of your body are feeling now. What changed during practice? What didn't change? If you can't tell whether something changed or not, that's just another observation. There are no wrong answers to these questions you're asking yourself. Maybe you don't come up with an answer. Often the question is really more important than the answer. Check in about grounding. Feel your heels and your calves on the ground. Feel the contact of your butt on the ground. Maybe feeling into the sacrum, shoulders, arms, hands, back of your head. Start to give yourself some deeper breath. You were probably breathing deeply, but by focusing, you can go even deeper. Invite movement back into your body bit by bit, starting small, letting your movements gradually become bigger movements, lead to bigger movements, suggest bigger movement. When and if you're ready, if you choose to sit up, gently sit yourself up, take your time. And if you like, bring your hands up by your heart. Thank you for sharing this practice with us today. The light within me sees, honors, and bows to that same light within you. Namaste. Please visit us online at urbanyoga.org or Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook. Check out the rest of the class schedule. We offer classes every day. And check out the digital tip jar, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle. 3 ways you can contribute to supporting our Zoom efforts. Have a lovely day.